have going on? Like, what kind of issues come up all the time?
Average weekly wage and comp rate.
Okay. So the average weekly wage and the comp rate is something that is like one of the foundation issues for a workers' compensation claim, because that determines how much somebody is going to get paid while they're treating with the doctors. Okay, so usually what happens is either the doctor takes them entirely out of work, or the doctor doesn't take them all the way out of work but puts them on restricted duty. Okay, so if you're all the way out of work, you're supposed to get 2/3 of your average weekly wage. That's your comp check. And there's got to be a lot of calculations done just to make sure that's right. But many times you're on restricted duty, okay, and they have you back at work. And the way I usually explain it to people is, if you were making $3, okay, before you got hurt, $3 a week before you got hurt. We're back in the 1920s here, but $3 a week before you got hurt, and then you've only been making $2 a week since you've been hurt while you're on restricted duty. Well, there's $100 difference, right, that you're not making. And
that's their biggest question.
Right.
Am I being paid correctly? How do I know it's correct? I feel like I'm getting shorted.
And a lot of times they are, because they don't have somebody that's dedicated to making sure they're getting the right amount of money. Okay? So when you have a lawyer, what the lawyer's supposed to do, the law firm's supposed to do, is to do the work for the client. I mean, this is really like technical stuff. So when you're talking about working less and making less money because you're on work restrictions, they're supposed to be paying you 2/3 of the difference between the $3 you were making before you got hurt and the $2 you're making now while you're on restricted duty. And that's called temporary partial disability. So there's two kinds of temporary benefits: temporary partial disability and temporary total disability. But both of those, it's always best to have somebody that knows what they're doing, that does workers' comp, a lot of workers' comp, go over and do it for them to make sure that it's right.
Absolutely.
Because, people always think the workers' compensation people are going to take care of them, but that's what they're supposed to do, but that's not what happens in practice. What happens in practice is you've got a busy adjuster that's just passing paper from one stack to another, and they're not really taking the time to double check and verify that you're being paid what it's really personal to you.
Was my overtime included? I've got a second job. Can I include my wages from my other employer? I can no longer work there. I can't make that money. Will they make the difference up?
Absolutely, but you've got to let somebody know. That's called concurrent employment. So if you're working 2 jobs and you're injured at one, the wages of both jobs are supposed to be included in your compensation rate. And if they're not, that'll make a big difference. It's going to hurt really, really bad if they're not paying you for accounting for both of those wages. And that's why you need to be talking to a lawyer.